Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to Career Launcher. My name is Naveen, and today we will continue with our LRDI series, CAT 2025 Target 99 plus percentile. And this is part 11 of this series. So, without wasting any time, let's look at today's set. So, today's set is from Games and Tournament Knockout. Okay, let's understand the concepts while solving the problem and see how we can approach tricky questions where a lot of information is not known. So 32 players took part in a tennis tournament. Players are seeded from 1 to 32, with seed 1 being the top seed and seed 32 being the last seeded player. The tournament takes place in a knockout format with 5 rounds: first round, second round, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. In each round, the winner of a match between two players advances to the next round, while the loser is eliminated. That's exactly how knockouts happen, isn't it? The process is repeated till the finals. In the first round, the player seeded 1 plays against the player seeded 32. The player seeded 2 plays against the player seeded 31, and so on. So basically, we have got in round number 1, we have got player 1, 2, 3, and so on. Half of 32 we will write here, 16. Then we will write 17, and we will go upwards. We will have 32 here, 31 here, and 30 here. Right? Now, out of these 32 players, only 16 will move to the next round, and the remaining 16 will go back home. Now, from these 16, half of those will now move over to the next round, which is the third round, also known as quarterfinals as per this set. So there are going to be 8 players. Now, in round number 4, there are going to be a semi-final where only 4 players will be here. And in round number 5, there are going to be finals, and only 2 players will survive, and they will fight for the win or the cup. So basically, since we have 32 players, which is 2 to the power 5, so this tells us the number of rounds that are supposed to happen. Okay. And 2 to the power 5 minus 1 is the total number of matches that will take place. So, an upset is said to happen if a lower seeded player beats a higher seeded player. So let's say in the match between 3 and 30, if 30 wins, it's called an upset because 30 is a higher seed that wins over a lower seeded player, which is 3. The matches are scheduled such that in case of no upsets in each round, the higher seeded player plays the lower seeded player left in the tournament. So, it's not going to be the scenario where the top seeded player plays with the bottom seeded player, or the top ranked player is going to play against the lowest ranked player. It simply says the matches are scheduled such that in case of no upsets in each round, only in those cases the highest seeded player plays the lowest seeded player left in the tournament, which is kind of obvious, since if you look at round number 1, if there is no upset, seed number 1 to 16 will move. Now, in the next round, 1 will play against 16 because 1 is the lowest seeded, 16 is the highest seeded. The second highest seeded player plays the second lowest player left, and so on. So, a very standard knockout tournament approach. Let's look at the questions that are asked. If the player seeded 27 reached the finals, what was the minimum number of upsets in the tournament? Which lowest seeded player can win the tournament if no upset is caused by him? If the player seeded 4 reaches the finals, then what is the seed of the other player who reached the finals? If it is known that the player seeded 7th was one of the winners of the quarterfinals, then what happens, and so on. So out of 4 questions, 3 are theta and 1 has got definite options. So even though 3 questions, they start with if, so it means obviously we do not know the outcome of every match or the matches in every round. So it will depend upon what kind of conditions are provided to us, right? Let's look at the first question. If the players seeded 27 reached the finals, what was the minimum number of upsets in the tournament? Now, what will happen is in round number 1, we are going to have seed number 1 playing against seed number 32, 2 is going to play against 31, and this will continue, 16 will play against 17. Now, if you try to find out where seed number 27 exists, so seed number 27 exists here, right? Now, 27 is going to play against someone. the seed of that person is definitely going to be less than 27. Somehow, if we want to find out what is the seed of that player, so there is a pattern here. The pattern is, if you look at the sum of the seeds of players in every match, it's 1 plus 32, 33, 2 plus 31, 33, 16 plus 17, 33. So the sum should be 33, which means seed number 27 played against seed number 6 and he moved forward. Since we are asked to find out minimum number of upsets in the tournament, so every time we are looking at a match, and if we have no idea what was the outcome of the match, we will make sure that there were no upsets. We need to minimize, no? So why would we even try to create an upset if there is a possibility of not keeping that as an upset, right? So first round was not an upset. First match was not an upset. Second match was not an upset. Third, fourth, and so on. Sixth match was an upset. So there is one upset here. And then subsequently, there were no more upsets. Which means, basically in round number 2, 1 is going to play against 16, 2 is going to play against 15, and this will continue. Now, 27 is going to play against someone. Now, who is going to be that player? Now, if you look at round number 2, this sum here is 1 plus 16 is 17, 2 plus 15 is 17, so this should be 17. Now, the biggest or the largest seed that we see here is 27 himself. Everybody else is less than 27. 16 is the largest seed. 27 is the next one. So, whichever seed this 27 seeded player is going to play against, and 27 is supposed to win. Why should 27 win? Because 27 has to reach the finals. So what was the outcome of the first match? Since we do not know, we will consider that to be not an upset. Second match, not an upset. So we will see that there is going to be one upset here as well. Which means in round number 3 again, there will be an upset because whoever plays against 27, there will be an upset. So this is quarterfinal. Then in round number 4, which is semi-final, there are going to be 4 teams. 27 will continue, will play against someone who has a seed better than 27. So there will be an upset here as well. So basically, in every round until finals, there was an upset. So it simply says 27 reached the finals. He did not win the tournament. Right? So what was the number of upsets until then? 4. So basically 5 rounds, 4 upsets. Let's look at the next question. Which lowest seeded player can win the tournament if no upset is caused by him? So if you look at round number 1, we have got 1 versus 32. We have got 2 versus 31 and so on. And then we will have 16 versus 17. Right? Since we need to find out lowest seeded player. Lowest seeded player मतलब सबसे खराब player जिसका seed number ज़्यादा है. Right? So if you do not want an upset, that would mean that 1 to 16, they will move forward because we do not want any upset to be caused. Now in round number 2, it's going to be 1 versus 16 and it's going to be 2 versus 15 and the last one is half of 16, which is 8 versus 9. Now since we do not need an upset, so 1, 2, 8 and they all will continue until round number 3, which is quarterfinals. In this, 1 is going to play against 8, 2 is going to play against 7, 3 is going to play against 6, and 4 is going to play against 5. If you do not need upsets, we have to make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. And next is round number 4, which is going to be semi-finals. 1 is going to play against 4, 2 is going to play against 3. We do not need upsets, so we will have 1 and 2. Next, round number 5, we have got finals. In finals, 1 is going to play against seed number 3. 1 wins Since we do not need an upset, so 2 should not win. Now, if we go back and think about it, if we do not want any upset to happen, shouldn't 1 be always the player who will win? Because every time, so eventually 1 will reach the finals, right? So 1 is going to face against someone who has a higher seed. So if that person wins, then that's an upset. Since we do not need an upset in the entire tournament, so 1 will always be the guy who wins the tournament, or rather, lowest seeded player or the best seeded player. Either case, it's always 1 if there are no upsets. Right. Let's look at the second question. Third question. If the player seeded 4 reach the finals, then what is the seed of the other player who reached the finals from the given options? Right. So round number 1, it's going to be 1 versus 32. So the sum is going to be 33. Right. Next, what we do is we look at round number 2. It's 1 versus 16. So half of that. Sum is going to be 17. Then what we do is we go to round number 3. It's 1 versus 8. The sum is going to be 9. Then we go to round number 4. It's 1 versus 4. So the sum is going to be 5. And in round number 5, which is nothing but the finals, it's going to be 1 versus 2. So the sum is supposed to be 3. Right? Now, if you want these players seeded 4 who is going to reach the finals. So 4 will not be there in the finals as of now. So if we look at round number 4, we are going to have seed number 4 present there. So the match is going to happen between 1, 4 and 2, 3, where 4 has to win. That means 4 will take the rank of 1. And this is where 4 is. Once we have figured out 4, we can figure out the other members of the team as well. So for that, between 2 and 3, one of the players will be here. So 2 plus 3 is 5. We are done with the previous sum. Now let's look at 9. Now 9 plus what is 2? Sorry, 2 plus what is 9? So it's going to be 7. 3 plus what is 9 is going to be 6. Done with 9. Let's go to 17. 2 plus what is 17? It's going to be 15. 3 plus what is 17? It's going to be 14. 7 plus what is 17? It's going to be 10. 6 plus what is 17? It's going to be 11. Next, done with 17. Let's go to the next sum of ranks here, 33. 2 plus what is 33? It's 31. 3 plus what is 33? It's 30. 7 plus what is 33? It's going to be 26. 6 plus what is 33? It's going to be 27. 15 plus what is 33? It's going to be 18. 14 plus what is 33? It's going to be 19. 10 plus what is 33? It's 23. 11 plus what is 33? It's 22. And 31 plus what is 33? 2. So basically out of 32 players, these are the 16 players who can face seed number 4. Now, if we look at the options, the seed number 7 exists. That's the only seed exists. So when you want to backtrack, the sum of the ranks, they are very helpful. Okay, let's look at the next problem now. If it is known that the player seeded 7th was one of the winners of the quarterfinals, then what is the minimum seed of the player who could not win the tournament? So basically, if you look at round number 1, where 1 plays against 32, the sum is 33. So that means 7 will play against 26. So since 7 moves to the next round, 26 to par. Right? Now, round number 2, it's going to be 1 versus 16 and so on. So sum is 17. So 7 will play against 10. Now 7 has to move to the next round, which is round number 3, which is nothing but quarterfinals. So that means 10 is also kicked out of the tournament for sure. We do not know the outcomes of the remaining matches. We are only looking at the outcomes of this particular match and this particular match because 7 plays and 7 reaches the quarterfinals. And he was one of the winners, right? Now, when 7 reaches the quarterfinals, it's between 1 and 8. So basically, this 7 is going to play against, so the sum is 9, so 7 will play against 2. So since 7 wins, 2 is again kicked out. So basically 26, 10, and 7, these 3 seeded players definitely do not make it to the tournament and will not win, right? Since the question asked is what is the minimum seed of the player who could not win the tournament? So here it's the minimum seed means the smallest number. So it's going to be 2. सेकेंड सीडेड प्लेयर डेफिनेटली टूर्नामेंट नहीं जीतेगा 7 उसको ऑलरेडी हरा चुका है क्वार्टर फाइनल में राइट वेल please go through the set once again. Okay, pay attention to how I have solved question number 3. Hope you learned something new today. In case if you guys haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Okay, like this video, that's all we need from you, and share it with your friends who are also preparing for MBA exams this year. So until next session, take care everyone. Thank you.